Welcome to the National Women's Fitness Academy podcast. We're here to talk about women's health, female hormones, body image, and all things health and fitness.
Hello girls, and welcome back to another episode of the Women's Fitness Academy's podcast. I'm your host Siggy, and I'm joined by our other host, Elin. For those who don't know Elin, you make sure that you listen to her podcast episodes as well, because they've been absolutely epic. And this is our second time actually recording this podcast, because unfortunately the first one that we recorded in Bali just didn't mismatch with the microphones that we were using. So we decided to redo it because the conversation was absolutely amazing, and we're going to follow through with what we had spoken about last time. So Elin, thanks for joining me.
Yes, of course. Yes, I was just telling Siggy that I've literally done like one of the hardest workouts I've ever done in my life. So I'm coming back, but it's literally been me an hour and a half of ice bath, jacuzzi, eating, drinking, and just like get everything back into my body.
Get all the minerals.
But I'm getting there. Yeah. Especially here, because for those of you who don't know, like I'm still in Bali, so I'm living here now. But yeah, obviously it's so hot here, so you sweat so much extra. And for someone who doesn't eat like a lot of processed food, it can be really hard to get like all the salts in. So I was like salting everything extra, and it's like trying to get it all back into the body after sweating out a few liters in that workout.
God, I love salt, and I reckon if I lived there, I would probably be like having salt with me all the time.
Yeah, it gets like that. And but you know, it's so like muggy here, so like all the salts that you normally have at the restaurants, they're like you go like trying to get it out and nothing comes out. So the other day I like unscrewed it and I just like tried to like get it out, and then I must not screw it on properly because I tipped it upside down and it just like rice and the salt everywhere on my whole plate. I was like, no. And because they're so nice here, they come over and they're like, oh my God, we're so sorry, it's broken. I was like, no, it was me, like I broke it. Like, don't feel bad. I said, it's okay. I'll just like kind of pick out all the little rice corners in here, and it's all right. I'll just eat around it.
Oh my God.
Guys, don't do that.
There's actually nothing worse than that happening on food. Like I've done that before at home as well, where the salt shaker will just separate and you'll be like, I'm having salt.
Yeah. Yeah. That always used to happen for me with the peppercorn. Like, I don't know if maybe I'm just like a bit too rough when I'm like grinding, and it always breaks, and it always just goes, blue. And those freaking big peppercorns, like, there's nothing worth eating one whole of those. Oh, it's so gross.
Spicy.
Yeah. Like, oh, that is strong.
Speaking of workouts, before we started recording, you mentioned that you're going to be competing in the CrossFit Games over in Bali. What's the training looking like for that?
Well, it's not CrossFit Games. It's just like a normal amateur kind of workout. Also competition. So there's 3 categories. So there's a scaled one, which is like beginner, and then it's intermediate, which is like medium. That's what I'm going to do. And then there's RX, which is like athletes. So for those who know CrossFit, like a muscle up, like kind of when you go on top of the bar or like on top of the rings. So it's not just that, but it's going to be like weighted. So those people are going to have to wear like a weight vest and do that. So bit too hard for me. But no, like I probably won't change my training really that much. Maybe I'll add in a few, like, because it's a partner one or like a 3 people comp. So we'll probably do a bit of like team workouts. And just do like a little bit of extra like pull-ups and strength work, just to fine tune. Like, it's only 3 weeks away. You can't really do too much in 3 weeks. But yeah, just taking my training a bit more seriously. And like, I'm so competitive. So as soon as we signed up, I was like, all right, let's go. Like, no more slacking off, Ellen. No more going for the scaled weight, even though you actually can do the proper.
I love that. I find that a lot of people, when they move to Bali, or even when they're in Bali, they go and train and do a lot of CrossFit stuff. I'm noticing that there's a theme happening here.
Yeah, like I was literally, so I train at CrossFit Wanderlust, which is in Canggu, and it's a massive, like probably one of the biggest gyms in Canggu in general. And like when the Women's Fitness Academy were over here with the retreats, that they come in and train a few sessions as well. And I know that a lot of those girls had never done CrossFit, and they still really loved it. And I was just talking to someone just now in the ice bath, and she said that she just arrived on Sunday. She's been coming every day. She's never done CrossFit in her life. I think it's just like, honestly, it's probably one of the best gyms for someone who has never done it. But just because there are so many people here who have never ever done it before, and all the coaches know that, and they're so used to catering for beginners and scaling options. So yeah, like if anyone is thinking of coming over and you are typical, like normal kind of gym goer, I would 100% recommend it. Even if CrossFit is not for you, it's just like, did you ever come here?
No, I don't like CrossFit.
Yeah. No, but even if like you don't like CrossFit, it's like just sitting around in the cafe, going to the ice bath, going to the pool. Like, it's just so easy to make friends here.
Yeah, the community side of things is amazing.
Yeah, like I've met all my friends here. Like, you just randomly talk to people, like when you're sitting down having coffee. They have great food. They have other like booty classes and stuff like that as well. So, you know, there really is something for everyone. So I always get so many messages on my Instagram asking like, where should I go? Where should I train? Like, how do I meet friends in Bali? And honestly, like signing up to a gym like this, I think is the absolute best thing that you can do. Even if you don't like CrossFit, there is still like a normal gym. Like, yeah, that's to make, like, it is hard to make friends. Like, it's not, you know, we're not in school anymore.
No.
Well, most of us. So being in a gym where there's such a community is so, like, it's so good. Like, all of my friends except for maybe like one I met like through this gym. So very grateful for that.
Yeah, it's so true. I think the best part about that is finding that community or finding like-minded people who enjoy doing the things that you do as well.
Yeah, totally. And everyone who's here like likes to train, likes to eat like pretty healthy, but also no one's really afraid. Like, people eat like burgers and, you know, ice cream and stuff all the time as well. Like, no one's really too much in the one way. So I really, like, you know, Bali is amazing in general. So, but I just love it here.
Yeah, it's amazing. And last time when we caught up, we both were reminiscing how sick we got.
Oh my God, yes. And then I got even worse.
Yes. So,
yeah, you had Bali belly, right?
Yes, I did. So funny. I was speaking to Brendan actually, and he's like, "Oh, you got the Bali cleanse," and I love how he put that together because it's so true. Cleanse, literally a cleanse.
Literally a literal cleanse. Yeah, there was nothing left in the body.
Yeah, it's.
How did he figure that out?
Pardon?
How did he figure that out, or did you tell him?
No, I told him.
I was gonna say, like, do you have a certain glow after it, or?
No fucking glow after that. Oh my God. Literally lost all my sodium and minerals after being sick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I felt pretty crappy. Like, yeah, it's honestly, it is the worst. It just, I don't want to get too descriptive, but like at one point it was coming out. It was the scene of Bridesmaids. Like, it was awful. It was, yeah, I have never felt more pathetic in my whole entire life.
Yeah. You feel so out of control. You feel out of control for it.
Yeah. It's just like you just literally can't eat or drink anything because you're like, if I eat like a few crackers, it's just gonna set me off again. And so you just lay in the aircon and it's like, please be over.
It's so true. And I think this is something that people are not openly talking about this enough, that, you know, there is the risk of you getting sick, whether it's in Bali, whether it's other international places overseas. But I think it's putting stuff into practice just to help build that immune system post sickness.
Yeah. But like also like not being afraid of eating the foods here, because the food here is unreal. People always ask me like on my Instagram, like, oh, can I drink like things with ice in it, or can I eat salads? Can I, like, if you're gonna be careful about everything that you eat, you're not gonna enjoy the experience. I think the main thing is probably washing your hands, to be honest. And like that's probably why I got it, because I'm so bad at like picking my like rubbing my eyes, or like if I have something in my teeth, I'll like use my like fingers, and it's so disgusting now that I think about it. Because you're just driving around on a motorbike and you come home and you literally can like feel the dirt on your face after. So yeah, I'm getting better with the washing my hands. But I honestly, like, there's nothing you can do to really avoid it. I think I read somewhere that to take probiotics for like a couple of weeks before you come,
Yeah.
it's meant to help.
Yeah, so there's a certain probiotic. I can't remember the strand of it. When I find it, I'll put it in the show notes. But yeah, they do say to have it within your meals as well, like prior to traveling, but also having it during your time there. So that way it builds up more of that balancing of that good, bad bacteria in your gut.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like, I thought it was going to be really cheap to get supplements here, but freaking get them before you come, because they are expensive in Bali.
Yeah.
Bring them back. Bring them with you in your bag.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I remember when I got sick, the only thing that I was able to eat, well, actually drink, was just pineapple juice and water.
Oh, pineapple juice. I haven't had that in so long.
So random.
Yeah. I was just drinking Pocari Sweat, which is like an electrolyte kind of solution that they have here. It's super sweet, but it is okay, I guess. And then I was just eating Ritz, like salty crackers. That's all I ate for 3 days. Health.
Literally health. Speaking of health, we've come a really long way in our journey. You know, both of us have had similar experiences with body image issues and binge eating episodes. And I think this will be a really cool way for us to dive into this, because both of us preach that balanced lifestyle for women, not to fear foods that they eat.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, I'm just gonna run mine over a bit quickly. But like just struggling with all sorts of eating disorders from the age of like 14, like anorexia. I've been like orthorexic. I've been like binge eater. And just had like really unhealthy relationships to food, and that always ties in with an unhealthy body image as well, and not feeling like you're good enough. And, yeah, it's just so nice to be out on the other side now, and to be able to, like, honestly, every day I have those moments where I'm like, fuck, when I was sick, there's no way I could have lived somewhere like this, where I can't track my food, I can't weigh myself, like, freaking, I don't even have a full-length mirror in my room, like, I can't even do the body checking. But it's just, honestly, it's just the most, even though it was so hard to get here, honestly, the best thing ever. I'm sure you can relate to that as well.
100%. Yeah. I actually had a moment, the other week. I went out for dinner with my partner, and he suggested to go and get dessert. And my favorite dessert is ice cream. But funnily enough, when I went through my binge eating episodes, I used to binge on ice cream on a weekly basis. Like, that was my prepared binge episode every weekend. So when we went out for ice cream and I literally just had 2 scoops, I was sitting there going, wow, like, I'm able to have ice cream on a Tuesday night without having a complete a meltdown or a breakdown about, you know, this type of food.
Yeah. And it's so amazing as well that you can see that, and that you can celebrate, like, I have come so far, because that's when you know that you've grown, and that's how you're going to keep it going as well. Like, if you're always beating yourself down and doing things out of guilt, and that you hate your body and this stuff, you're never actually going to get anywhere, because you can only motivate yourself for so long. But once you can flip that mindset, and God, that is easier said than done. But once you can, and start thinking of how you can support your body and how you can do things out of love and compassion, like, honestly, like, your whole life will just change.
What was one of the first things that you started shifting within yourself that you noticed you separating from binge eating?
Focusing on performance in gym rather than just looking a certain way. So for me, and I know so many people who say this as well, that CrossFit has just like saved their life, basically, just because it is so, like, come to a gym class here, there will be the stick thin girl who's like a size 0, but there will also be, plus size or like a little bit overweight people. Like there's literally every body type that you can think of in the gym. And I love it here so much that because it is so hot, everyone is just wearing shorts and a crop top and no one gives a shit. It's just like you're training hard, you're giving people a few high fives, you're getting sweaty, you're trying your best. That's all like people care about. So for me, that was the biggest thing that I found. Instead of always being excited about food and always planning, like, when can I binge next? What can I binge on? Like, okay, I'm going to buy all these binge foods and keep them here for when like Friday comes around and I'm just going to binge all weekend. Like that was literally my thing. But now it's more like, okay, well, if I'm going to train and if I want to get better, what do I need to eat? And then I can still have the chocolate or the ice cream or pizza or whatever it is. But I don't crave it as much because I'm so like, I just want to feel so good. And even though those foods are like fucking delicious, like if you eat them all the time, you're not going to feel that great.
Yeah, it's so, so true. I love that. It's so relatable to, a lifestyle as coaches as well, because I don't know about you, but when I first started coaching, I was like that all or nothing mindset, which makes so much sense because that was, in that middle of my stage of binge eating where it was literally restricting Monday to Friday and then pre-planning my weekends to having that binge. And funnily enough, when we're restricting certain things or certain foods from our lives, guess what? There's going to be more resistance for us to do it and crave it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like when you see that red button and it's like, don't push it. And it's like, oh, I just want to push the freaking button. Every time I fly, and with the handle that there's on the side, yes. I don't touch this. I'm always like,
it's a psychology thing.
Yeah. But like our mind's thinking pictures, right? So if we say, I can't have banana bread, or your brain's just going to be like banana bread. Like it doesn't understand words. So that's something that people need to be really mindful about. But yeah, what was your biggest turning point? What do you think helped you recover?
My biggest turning point would also be the change of my environment and getting therapy. But I wasn't getting necessarily therapy because of my binge eating. I was getting therapy due to like being in a really like toxic and abusive relationship. Hence, it wasn't okay. Like I'm saying, it's funny to just realize this, but obviously at the time it wasn't funny. But it's so they correlate to one another, because if I was, for being in an abusive relationship, you're already copying shit from someone. You're feeling really depleted and shit about you. So the only thing that would have made me feel better was eating the foods that I enjoy most. But those foods that I kept on eating, yes, but the foods that I kept on eating were the ones that I was actually restricting, and I was wanting more and more. So after doing the work with my therapist, I realized what was actually happening. And hence, once I actually left that relationship, I noticed by changing my environment, moving away, getting a new life in quotations, but like being around other new people, I started noticing those changes as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Your environment has such a big part of it, doesn't it? They've always said that quote, you're the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's so true. I know that, you shouldn't compare yourself and you should have your own opinion and but like, we're just humans. Like we are going to, like, if someone says, I really like this, you'd be like, oh, do I also like that? Or like, that's always going to happen. And you're always going to want to fit in. You're always going to want to be part of something. Like that's just in our DNA. Like if we didn't fit in and didn't have a group back in the old days, like you literally would die. Like you would never survive on your own. Yeah. So it's nothing wrong with wanting to fit in and wanting to like care what people think, but you just need to be very mindful of who are you listening to.
Yeah, 100%. And speaking of like comparison and who we're listening to, social media has a big effect on that.
That was a very nice flick to the
You like that one?
I've done this before. Yeah, I like that.
But it's so true. And this was also one of the conversations that we had prior about us comparing ourselves to other coaches or other women in the industry or just women in general. Even like as young women, we had this conversation saying we constantly compared herself to people who were in a different stage of life to us, but we were still looking at them as if we were pedestaling them and making ourselves look like shit.
Yeah, totally. I think that was a huge part of my binge eating, was just having social media there. And because I started, like, my binge eating spiraled out of control after I did that bodybuilding competition. And it wasn't just because I was comparing myself, but it definitely triggered it even more, because I would go home from the gym and I'd be like, oh, why don't I look like all these people? They look amazing. And they have all these like big shoulders and big asses and small waists. And like, I just look like shit. And then you speak yourself down, and like you're ruining your self-confidence and the trust you have within yourself. And then you're going to be like, when you're feeling like that, you're going to be more likely to basically punish your body, which is what binge eating really is. It's just like a punishment, and it is a distraction. But like, if you truly feel good within yourself, you would never do that to yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's just the thing with social media, and like, I think we spoke about this before, but that the filters are just getting, like, when they first came out and it was this Snapchat and it was just like the bunny ears and like it was so obvious, like you could tell, like, oh yeah, that's a filter. But now it's like just swiping to the Paris filter. Like, it doesn't even say if someone's posted a photo with the Paris filter. It doesn't even say. You just see it and you're like, wow, that person has flawless skin. Like, there's not a pimple there. There's not a wrinkle. There's like everything same color, like beautiful. And then you like look at yourself and like, oh, why don't I look like that?
Yes.
Again, it doesn't even exist. Like, even with makeup on, no one has skin like that. Like, it does not work like that.
It's so true. And it's funnily enough that you've brought this up, because there was a video going around of Kim Kardashian who was putting on a moisturizer on her skin. I think it was like a video or a reel, and you could see how her skin wasn't completely flawless. She had imperfections like we all do. She has facial hair. There were like pimples or like pigmentation. And people are like, oh my God, like her skin is so bad. Da, da, da. It's just like, no, like this is real skin. And we're so regulated now because filters completely, mask all of that. People just don't know what real skin looks like.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Like, I would say like 99% on the accounts that you follow use some kind of filter or photo. Even like some people would even take it to the next level where they actually download another app and Facetune or Photoshop, or I don't even know what all these things are called. And like sometimes I'm like, you know what, if they want to do that, cool, but maybe make sure that people know, because a lot of people don't, and a lot of people will look at that and be like, oh, that person is perfect, and she has no pimples, and she has perfect skin, and she's skinny, and she has abs and this and that. You can literally change your body to give yourself a six-pack in 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's so true. And we actually had this conversation last time. Was it Netherlands that has it was somewhere in Europe that now you have Norway, that you actually have to to say on your pictures if they've been photoshopped or not. Otherwise you'd get fined.
Yeah. And I think that's absolutely unreal. It should be like that everywhere, especially with how young people are now when they're going on social media.
Yeah.
Like we've been around for a while now, and we can kind of tell, even though some people are freaking subtle and you can barely see that they've done anything. But like, God, can you imagine like going on social media when you're like 12, 13 years old and seeing all of these people with absolute like smooth skin and abs and like big peachy bums? Like, it would have wrecked. Like, I already had an eating disorder when I was 14. I can only imagine how bad it would have gotten if I'd seen all that as well. Oh no, it's scares. It is very scary.
It is. And I think the more we chat about this and the more we come up authentically as ourselves, younger generations will notice that, hey, it's actually okay the way I look. I don't necessarily have to hide myself, with the filter on. And funnily enough, people use filters so heavily that it's actually affecting their dating lives as well.
What?
Because it's
like catfishing on apps?
Yes, like catfishing.
Yeah, actually, I can see that. I don't think I think I took a stand very early on. I was like, I'm not going to use filters because, you know, both of us are very like body positivity and like just showing up like real as we are. But like, I remember the time, like when I started saying I was body positive and like talking about confidence, I would still put up posts that said like, sorry about my cellulite or sorry about the angle or stuff like that. Now I'm like, what am
Why
I
are you sorry? Yeah.
Yeah, like this is what I look like. And or like sometimes I see posts and people like cellular or like this is okay, and like you shouldn't have to make a post about you looking normal. That's like, you know, me or you saying like, oh, this is my hair, this is the color of my hair. Like that's just like cellulite is so normal. It's just as normal as having freaking like hair on your arms. Like it shouldn't be something that people feel like they have to apologize for or point out or say that you're so brave for showing your cellulite. Like I do get it, I do, but I think it's time that we just make it so normal that we don't even think about it, we don't even comment on it, we just show up as we are. Sometimes you can see the cellulite, sometimes you cannot. It's all going to depend on the angle and the light.
Why do you think people want to apologize for showing up like that?
That is a very good question. I think maybe it makes them less vulnerable, I think, because they're kind of already saying, I know that I have rolls on my stomach, or that I haven't shaved my legs, or that I have cellulite, or whatever it is. And if you say it first, then you're kind of taking the power away from someone else to point it out because you've already said it. That's what I think. What do you think?
I think similarly to that, and I also think it's a way of like probably the same. It's a less way of them being vulnerable instead of someone like picking on them. However, you also made a really good point before. It's just like, why do we have to point these things out? Because it's not as if I go on your stories and you're talking and I'd be like, oh my God, she has the biggest pimple on her cheek. Like, I don't think that, but if you say that, of course I'm going to think it then. And then I'm going to comment and be like, yeah, your pimple is big. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you so much for showing us your real face with the pimple. Like,
yeah.
It shouldn't be like that.
No, it shouldn't. And I'm so glad that we've opened this conversation because, yes, we are body image positive. We are wanting to make a difference. However, like you said, when we're stating the obvious that, yes, we have cellulite, every woman has cellulite, but then it's just like, are you trying to feed that reaction from people?
Yeah, 100%. And like, it definitely does work. Like posts that you put up and if you're putting up like, oh, look at like this angle, I have so many cellulite, and you know, squeeze your bum. Like, God, anyone who squeezes the bum like is gonna have cellulite. That's just a fact. Like even if you're 4% body fat, you're still gonna have it. Those posts do really well. So I do get it why people put that stuff out. But I just feel like it's just time for us to just show up as we are, just being authentically who we are, and just like, okay, today I did a really cool workout. And yes, I'm like super sweaty, but I'm not even going to mention that, oh, sorry about my sweaty face, or sorry about my, I don't know, it looks like I pissed myself because I have so much sweat in my pants. Like, that's just what you look like. Like,
yeah,
why would you comment on that? Like, it's just like, the more you think about it, the more it's like, yeah, why would I even bring that up? Like, it's just me being there, and I'm having the best time of my life. And isn't that what's most important?
As you said, I feel as if it's like them stating the obvious so other people won't have the opportunity to put them down or feel ashamed about, you know, that photo, which is funnily enough because like I'm guilty of that. I used to do that in the past. And speaking of like, you know, having sweat in your pants after a workout, I would put up a photo and be like, oh my God, guys, so sorry. You know, like looks like I've peed myself.
Exactly.
And people will be like, ha ha ha. And I'm like, why did I do that? Like, it's normal.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And I think it's just something that we are so used to, especially as women, to apologize for what we say and to apologize for, like, I hear it all the time. People ask, can be at like a seminar or something, like, oh, I'm sorry, I have a question, or I'm sorry, I don't understand, or I'm sorry for this and sorry for that. Are you actually though? Are you actually sorry? Or are you just saying I'm sorry because you like are a bit uncomfortable and you actually want to ask a question? Like, stop saying sorry. If you're not sorry, why would you say it?
Yeah. It's so funny that you've mentioned that because I come across a lot of women who are like, oh, so sorry. Like, can I ask this, or can I do that? Can I do that? And I don't think I've ever been one of those people who would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'd literally be like,
Yeah.
excuse me, can I blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I've recently started learning like about like the masculine and feminine side. And I know you were like super into this.
Yeah.
So I guess we have a bit more heavy on the masculine maybe.
Oh yeah.
Because we
Oh
are
yeah.
like unapologetic. Like I interviewed someone, a sex coach the other week, and the conversation was brilliant. But there was so many things that I couldn't relate to because I'm not that heavy in my feminine side. About like apologizing and not taking control and being scared of asking questions, saying what you want. So yeah, like, but I do get it. Like I work with girls like that all the time, and they're like, "Oh, sorry for this question," or "Oh, I'm sorry about the checking photo that I sent today. I only have like the worst sports bra I have left. You know, the stretchy Wanda from Kmart." I'm like, "What have you got to be sorry for?"
Yeah. Like
There's
I don't
absolutely nothing
care.
wrong. No, I couldn't give a shit what you wear. Like,
Yeah. And isn't that funny? That goes back to people putting photos up and going, oh my God, like this is what I like. Oh my God, I have a pimple. It's just like no one thinks about it till you actually point it out.
oh, totally. Yeah, like on that, like I have like a big birthmark on my leg, and that was something that I was so ashamed of growing up, and like a big part of why I did develop an eating disorder, because in my mind it was like, okay, well, if my leg gets small enough, no one's going to see it. Which obviously that does not work. And I remember like when I started CrossFit, like for the whole first 6 months, I refused to wear shorts. I was like, nope, tights it is. I cannot wear shorts. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, like my best friend at the time was like, why don't you just wear shorts? Like it's 40 degrees outside. Like it's so hot. I was like, oh, okay. And I had this pair of shorts that I bought and never worn except like in my house. So I bought them to the gym, and no one said anything. Like no one said anything about my leg. Like they were just like, oh, they're nice shorts. Are they new? That's it. That was it. The only thing. And then 6 months after that, my CrossFit coach goes, oh, like, what's that on your leg? And I was like, have you not seen this before? Like I've trained here for a year now, like 6 months in shorts, and you haven't seen it. She's like, no. And that was a big light bulb moment for me, that people do not look at you as much as you think they do. Like something that I was so self-conscious about, like always like crossing my leg, trying to hide it. Now, like, yeah, now it's like, I don't even care. Like I don't give a shit anymore. Like I was on a date a few weeks ago, and I caught myself sitting with my birthmark leg on top of the other one. And the guy asked, he's like, oh, what's that? It's like a fake tan or something. And I was like, no, it's just like a birthmark. I was born with it. And it's just so nice. Like when I was 12, I would have died if someone said that to me. I would have absolutely died. But now it's just like, nah, this is who I am. And I'm not gonna, if you don't like it, that's cool. But this is me.
I've literally had the same experience, but my arm. So I have a mole in the center of my upper arm near my shoulder. And when I was younger, I never wanted to wear singlets because it would show the mole. And I literally used to get so scared of actually someone seeing it and having a go at me and being like, oh my God, what is that? That is so big. Yuck, yuck, yuck. And obviously as 12-year-olds, we're so wanting to be accepted by everyone. So the last thing I wanted was people to pick on me and, look onto my mole. So I used to wear t-shirts or like long sleeve to avoid it.
Yeah. It's so funny when we go back and we look at ourselves as like young kids. I'm like, why did I waste all the time trying to cover something that small up? And now you're an adult and like no one barely even notices it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but it goes back to your childhood, right? Where we are so like sponges, basically. Everything anyone says, we just like suck it in. So if someone would have commented on your arm, or for me, like people would comment on my leg, and that just made me so self-conscious, and that's going to stick around for a long time, unless or forever, if you don't do the work and actually get through it.
100%. And I think it also comes down to us developing as adults as well, because like you said, like as kids, we're sponges, we're taking on information from everyone, so we don't know what's right, what's wrong, what's true, what's a lie. So, but as we grow older, we start noticing these patterns, which is beautiful because as coaches, we're able to actually help our clients around this who are younger than us and make them realize, hey, like people actually don't care about this shit. Let's focus on other stuff that's going to make you feel good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's just the most beautiful thing when you can see the growth, like what we spoke about before with the food, the binge eating. Like it all, everything is connected. Like I don't think I've ever had a client who struggled with binge eating or any kind of emotional eating who also didn't have body image issues. And once you can kind of realize like where does it stem from, is it still true for you, and like how can we work to move past it? And then when you do, and it's like people are wearing whatever they want and they feel confident, and it's just the most beautiful thing seeing someone actually like shining to their like true potential and just being out there and being who they're meant to be and not hiding behind something, that just hiding their body away. And like, God, I'm not saying like you need to go and be naked all the time, but I mean, if you want to, but like wear whatever you feel comfortable in. But it's just so amazing seeing like all these girls wearing like sexy clothes when they go out and just feeling like empowered and confident. Yeah, it's just that growth is just like something, nothing else.
100%. And you know what? That comes with experience as well.
Yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, and I think I honestly do feel like, not to like hype myself up over here or anything, but I do think the best coaches are the ones who have gone through it themselves, because they know exactly what it feels like.
Yeah. And you know what? That is why we're so relatable, to be honest. That's why
Yeah.
people are attracted to what we have to say, because we don't hide the shit. We don't use fake filters to be like, hey, this is my perfect life. We literally tell it how it is. And we know with social media, everyone highlights the good stuff out there. Where I know you and I, we go up and tell the truth when we're actually feeling down and things are not going well, which many people don't like doing because it feels scary to them.
Yeah, totally. And it's fair, like it is free, like all now it feels just natural, right? We've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
But the first few times I was like, no, I can't share that. But like, what are people gonna think? Like, are they gonna think that I don't have this perfect life and that I'm crazy and I have like yeah, all these like things in my head? And I was like, hey, just if I share my experience and if that can help one person, then it's worth all the share the negative shares that I might be getting. But also, I've stopped looking at that kind of stuff now. I'm like, who cares? If they're gonna make fun of me, you go for it. It all stems from some kind of judgment anyway. Like, someone who's doing better than you would never ever make fun of you.
Yeah, exactly. What's that saying? Everyone beneath you will have a go at you, but those who are above you will inspire you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but that sounds very true.
I'll take that. I'll quote it.
Well, yeah, 100%, 100%.
But
It's so
it's
true
true.
though. Like, yeah, it's so true. And also, I think a lot has to do with ego as well. Like, sometimes I will get, like, there was a period where I was getting so many hate comments from men. And then I would go back and like look at my like the restrictive messages on Instagram, and there would be people who I'd never written back to, and then all of a sudden they started commenting on my photos saying that I was a prawn and I was ugly and all this stuff. And I was like, this is just someone's ego that's been hurt, and now they're trying to project it onto me. So kind of just taking, like, whenever you guys are getting like trolls coming after you, like, first of all, you're never gonna please everyone. Second of all, it's just people who are hurt and they're trying to make themselves feel better by hurting someone else. It's not about you, it's about them.
And you know what? I wish I knew that sooner than later, because
And me too.
yeah, because years ago I used to get a lot of hatred on my page, and whenever I would share something vulnerable or share a story, I would get so many hate comments from randoms who I don't even know. Most of the time it's a private account and you have no idea who's behind that account. So yeah, it sucks when you do get that hatred, but like you said, it's coming from someone who's been hurt, who's unhappy with their life, and they're trying to bring you down with them.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it literally has nothing to do with you at all. And it's sad, really, like, that someone is so miserable and unhappy that they have to go and comment on some random girl's page. Like, I can't think of a lot of things that I'd rather do with my time to do that.
100%. Speaking of like lots to do with your time, what are you filling your time up right now in Bali?
Yeah. So at the moment, well, I mean, this is my life now, I guess. Uh, I just like I work and I train and I just hang out with like really awesome people. I'm trying to do a little bit more traveling now. I don't know if those who've been to Bali and been to Canggu for a longer period of time, it's quite easy to get stuck here, like because it is like it has everything that there's no reason to leave. But I'm trying to venture out a bit more. I'm actually going to tarot. Is that how you say tarot card reading?
Yeah, tarot carded. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to that tonight, which I've never done before, so I'm very excited for that. Yeah, I don't even really know what to expect, but I think you just need to push yourself out of your comfort zone. I've been doing so much journaling lately, and I can tell that my head is just so much more clear. So I'm really loving that. What about you? What's next for you?
What's next for me right now? It literally has been just my focus on my business, but also on myself. So I've had a crazy year personally, and I've realized that I've been putting a lot of my eggs in other people's baskets, and it's time for me
Yeah.
to fill my cup. And it's funny enough because, you know, we're so good at giving other people advice, but then when it comes to taking our own advice, we're not so good at it. So this is why a coach needs a coach. And my mentor turned back to me saying, we need to add some fun into your life. So yeah, I'm looking at getting back into painting. I used to paint when I was really young. So doing a little bit more creative stuff will be good.
I love that. Yeah, it's so freaking true. Like my business coach always says to me, you can never be fully on if you're never fully off. So I always used to like kind of work, and if I was like laying by the pool, I would still be like on my phone writing stuff or messaging people. And I'm like, no, you're so right. And ever since I started taking that advice of just like, okay, I'm done for the day, I'm not going to check my phone, I'm not going to check my emails, it's done, it can wait till tomorrow. I've become a much better coach. I've become like a much better business owner and just an overall happier person in general. So guys, because I know there's a lot of coaches to be listening to this.
Yeah.
Take that advice. Like, don't be afraid to have a day off or take the afternoon off. Like, if you're starting an online business, you're starting an online business because you don't want to work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Like, why would you still work 9 to 5 if you have an online business? You're taking all the reason behind it. Like, yeah, but I was doing it as well. So like, I totally get it. But it's just like you create your own hours, but you also have to be really mindful of creating time for fun and time for rest. So that's just as important as working, if not more.
100%. And it's too funny because I remember when I first started in the coaching industry, I was probably most likely working 24/7, which is not healthy at all.
No. But we all do it, right? Like when we first start out, because we don't know any better. Like, and you're also so excited. You want to get your baby off the ground, and like, I totally get it. I do, but it's just not sustainable. Like, you're not going to be able to do that. You can do it for a few months, but you're not going to be able to do it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my business coach literally said to me, she's like, your job today is to go and lay by the pool. I was like, I like that. I can do that.
Yeah, but isn't that funny? Because it's a completely different mentality of looking how to run a business. Because coaches will be listening to this right now and be like, what do you mean you're going to go to the pool and just like chill? It's just like, well, like Ellen said, you need to switch off as much as you're switched on, because otherwise it's just going to be so unbalanced and you're going to burn yourself out.
Yeah, totally. And like, your job is to be a good coach. Yeah. How are you going to be a good coach if you're tired? Because our industry is so much like you have to be on, you have to be energetic, you have to have like good responses for your clients and stuff. Like, you can't just be tired and like not motivated. And of course you're going to have those days as well, but if you feel like that majority of the time, it means that you're burned out and you need to rest.
100%. Yeah. And you know what? If you guys can take one takeaway from today's conversation, is taking more time out for yourself as much as time you're putting into the business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the business is important, of course, but like, it's not going to grow unless you actually give yourself some time to rest as well. And I remember very early on, I listened to this podcast and they said, like, nothing is that important that it can't wait another day. And you're not a brain surgeon. And I was like, yes. And sometimes I do have to remind myself, like, okay, you can actually get back to this person tomorrow. Even if it's a new client that wants to sign up, like, they're not just going to change their mind, not want to sign up with you because you wait a day. Like, if anything, it's probably better that you get back to them the next day because you will be rested and you'll be able to respond in a much more energetic way.
Yeah, instead of having like that urgency or that fear of them, not being interested. Yeah.
Yeah, and like being desperate, and people can smell desperation, like even through freaking DMs in Instagram.
Yeah.
When someone's desperate for you to sign up, and no one wants to do that. Same with dating, like no one wants to date someone who's desperate, right?
No, we don't. No,
we run the other way.
Yes, block, delete.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my God.
So it is very related, yeah.
100%. It's so it's relatable to anything that we do in life, to be honest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's like how you run your business is going to be how you run your relationships at the end of the day. So you don't want to be that person. I mean, God, each to their own. If someone wants to just work all the time and that's what they love, then I mean, we're not going to sit here and say don't do it, but
do you?
Yeah, make sure that exactly. But make sure that you're looking after the things that truly like makes you really, really happy and calm and content, and be able to switch off. It's so difficult being your own boss to like give yourself that time, but once you learn to not do anything, it's freaking amazing. I love not doing anything.
Same. Like it's so beautiful to be able to separate yourself from, working 24/7 to actually taking care of yourself and doing the things that you enjoy doing. Like you going today to sit by the pool and just chill.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I hope everyone is going to be chilling today or whenever you're listening to this, because that's the aim of of being a coach, is like taking care of yourself as much as you're taking care of other people.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise you're just being a hypocrite. Like you need to actually follow your own advice as well.
Yeah, lead by example.
Exactly. It's probably one of the most difficult things with being a coach, to follow your own advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely lead by example for sure.
So true. Girls, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I sure did. I know Ellen did. We were just like on a rant.
It always gets like this. I was like, okay, how are we going to recreate what we talked about last time? But I think we did some other good bits in there.
Yes, definitely, we did good. Well, girls, if you enjoyed today's podcast, please make sure that you screenshot it, tag us at the Women's Fitness Academy, tag Ellen, tag me. And then, if you guys want to hear more about what we've been talking, or are there any topics that you're literally wanting us to dive in, just DM us, let us know, because obviously this podcast is for you to listen to and enjoy. So let us know. We'll be happy to have a chat around it.
Definitely. And like, honestly, when you guys take a screenshot and you tag us, like it makes my day. Like that's like, because we can see that people are listening, but it's like, who is listening and like what are they thinking about the podcast? Like when you put it out on your story and tag us and you say like, this was great because of this, or even just a tag, like it's so nice to get a face to like the person who's listening. Like I love it. It honestly makes my day when people do that.
100%. Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, are people actually listening to us? Are they enjoying this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, please do that more often, because
keep sharing, girls. Keep sharing the love. We enjoy it.